Guys, Fonzie with DipYourCar.com. We're back here at the Vossen factory. We've got the DYC Ferrari 458 completely dipped in the Atlantic color shift pearl, and we're ready for those Vossen wheels. Let's go inside and check the process. Al.
Fonzie.
How are you, sir?
Good to meet you, man. How are you?
Now, you are the shop supervisor here at Vossen factory. Now, I've got 4 wheels here that are going on our DYC 458. And if I understand correctly, each individual wheel is in a different step or stage in the manufacturing process. Now, can you show me each wheel and where we are?
Sure. First thing I want to show you is the actual forgings themselves that we make the wheels from.
Okay, let's go take a look. So this is going to be stage 1.
Yes.
Okay, this is where the wheels essentially come into birth.
Yes, this is the actual forgings themselves. This is what we made your wheels from.
Now this here is going to end up being the same as the end result that we saw the other day.
Yes, it is.
Now this looks nothing like the end result from the color. I mean, how much does this thing weigh?
Weighs about 180 pounds.
180 pounds.
We take about 80% of the mass of the wheel.
How much is, say, the front wheel of my end result?
The front wheels weighs just above 20 pounds.
So you're going from 180 pounds all the way down to 20 pounds? That's crazy. What's the next step in the process?
Next step is the first process, which is the horizontal lathe.
Horizontal lathe, okay. Wow, so this is the horizontal lathe.
This is the horizontal lathe. This is the first process that we do.
Now this essentially is what that big block was?
Yes, it is.
So what is this machine actually doing to that big block?
Well, as this machine turns, it spins the wheel. And while the machine is turning, we have these tools come in and actually cut the profile of your wheel.
Wow, so this is affecting the front, the back, the sides,
yes,
everything.
The first process we do is called the inboard. It does all of the inside and half of the rear of the wheel.
So is this going to stop right here?
Yes, this is where it stops.
So this essentially is where this wheel leaves the horizontal lathe.
Correct. This is the complete first process of the wheel.
And if you had to guess, how much weight you think we're losing just on this process alone?
You're probably losing about 20% of the mass.
About 20%. Now how long does this take here?
It takes around 30 minutes.
So each wheel is going to sit in the horizontal lathe for about 30 minutes?
About 30 minutes.
And now where are we going from here?
Then we're going to go to the vertical lathe.
Vertical lathe. Let's go check that out. Okay, so now we're heading over to the vertical lathe.
This is the second step in the process.
Now, from beginning to end, just so I know, how long are these wheels going to take?
It differs because of the profile, the pattern of the wheel. If you have a lot to cut, the more intricate the cut, the longer the wheel takes.
So this here is a vertical lathe, and this is actually one of my physical wheels in this step of the process.
Yes.
Now, what is this machine doing to the wheel?
It does actually the same thing as the horizontal lathe does, except it does it vertically. And so in this step, we do actually the top of the wheel. We cut the profile of the face of the wheel.
So where the horizontal lathe left off, the vertical lathe is going to pick up?
Correct.
And we're going to lose another 20% of weight here?
Or you probably lose about even more. You probably lose about 30% of the mass of the wheel. As the machine is spinning, the tools come down and make cuts, and it will actually cut the profile, the exterior profile of the wheel.
Now, how much is going on with this? How much hands-on is this, or is it really just automated?
It depends. As we set the machine up, it's a little bit hands-on. You know, we have to make sure the part is in there correctly. We have to make sure that the program is correct. And once it gets going, the computer does all the work.
Once you get behind the scenes and you see how much goes into this, you start understanding a little bit more.
It's a very involved process. It's a lot that goes on to make the wheels.
Now, we went from the horizontal lathe, we saw the vertical lathe. Where are we going from the vertical lathe?
Vertical mill.
Okay, let's go check the vertical mill out. This is one of our wheels right here.
Yep.
This looks completely different than that hunk of metal over there, but still the face looks almost like a drum cymbal or something. I mean, we're still not seeing that shape. What's going to happen in this machine?
So this is the profile of the wheel. This is actually the shape of the exterior of the wheel. What we're going to do now is cut the style of the wheel. So you've chosen the VPS 308, and so this machine actually cuts the 308 look in the wheel.
So all the spokes, the basic design that I see as a consumer are going to come out of the face with this machine.
Correct. You can actually push the button and start cutting your wheel.
I can push the button myself?
Yes.
So what do I got to do to make this thing
First
happen?
thing we do is close the doors. Hit the green button.
And then we're cutting?
Cut.
Ooh. So all this lubrication that I'm seeing, I'm assuming that that's necessary for this process.
It's to keep the tool lubricated and cool.
Now, how is it getting cut? I mean, what kind of cutting device is being used here?
Well, let me show you.
You can just stop it mid-cycle?
I can stop it mid-cycle. And I will show you. So this is a cutter. It actually spins. And as it spins, it cuts away material and cuts away the face, the profile of the wheel.
So just in that little time, that's what we've started on.
Yes.
And obviously the design of the wheel is programmed into the machine, knows exactly what it's supposed to be
done by computer software.
Is there any variations between one wheel to the next, or are they all identical, one after the other?
No, they are different. It depends on the size of the wheel, the width, the diameter, but also on the offset and the profile of your car. Wow. So we measure the wheel to fit your car individually.
So all these little shavings are coming off the wheel, and I keep asking this, but I'm so interested. When this face is cut, the spokes and everything are cut, we're gonna be down on weight again.
Yes.
How much do you think it'll weigh when we're done here?
Probably just over, it depends. If we take off the entire mass of the wheel, we're gonna take off probably, we're gonna be down to about 30% of the mass that until the finished product.
There's just gonna be almost nothing left between where we were to where we are now.
Yes.
We're getting really close to that 20, 30 pounds. All right, let's close it up and finish. Now we're heading off to what, another vertical mill?
Another vertical mill.
What's gonna happen in this one?
Well, this is what we do a little different than most people. We actually engrave every single wheel. It has your serial number, it has your car, who you are, so every wheel is specific to you as a customer.
So the inside edge of this wheel is gonna say DipYourCar 458?
Yes.
Beautiful. So how is it gonna do that? Is this laser, is it etched in?
It's etched in, same. Similar tool as the other one. It spins and it does the actual writing around the rim of the wheel.
So everything's gonna be programmed in here.
Yes, everything's in here.
And where is it gonna go on the wheel? On this inside edge here?
It comes down and it actually writes your whatever you want on your wheel.
So what are the chances I can set this thing off?
Oh, it's ready to go. We've got only thing we can make sure that we have the exact wheel, the serial number to match our program. And it's 3868743, 3687403. You're ready to go.
Close it up.
Close it up. Hit the green button.
And we've had a bunch of different wheels, and I've never noticed that. Is that something that's specific to Vossen?
It is specific to Vossen.
That's a really cool thing. So after it gets done here, are we pretty much done with the styling and the shaping of the wheel, or is it going back for more?
Well, we actually do another step that most wheel companies don't do. We do a finished turn, whereas when we cut the profile and the face of the wheel, we actually do the same processes 1 and 2 again to give us the true concentricity that we desire at Vossen.
So what's going to change? Is that something I'm going to see different between this step and going through those?
No, you actually won't see a whole lot of difference. It's all about the form and function of the wheel.
Okay, details are a big piece.
Details are extremely important at Vossen.
So this is essentially the final touches?
Yes. Our process here is where we do the prep of the wheel just before we finish the wheel. And so what Johan is doing, he's getting out any small intricacies that the machine leaves.
So no more heavy machinery at this point?
No.
Everything is by hand, final touches
Yes.
to the person's eye?
Yes.
He's got a lot of work to do because every single wheel that comes out of these heavy machines comes into a guy like this's hands.
Yes, it has to go every single time. It has to go through his hands before we ever leave the shop.
Is he the only guy that handles stuff like this?
No, we have several.
Okay. Now I also understand that, now what's this, the tanks in there? What are the names of those?
Well, those actually, they actually clean the wheel before we finish the wheel.
Okay, so if this wheel, I believe, is going to be powder coated, I think we're going to end up with a gloss black finish.
Yes.
They're going to end up over in those tanks as well? Let's go check those tanks out.
Okay.
So we're in a totally different area of the factory now. I see 1, 2, we got 6 tanks here.
Yes.
I'm assuming all filled with different stuff.
Yes.
Got a crane. Pretty simple to say that the wheels are getting dunked into each individual tank before they go ahead and get finished.
Correct. We have 3 cleaners and 3 rinses. And so, starting at the first process, the wheel as it comes off the machines still has oil and lubricants in the material. So we need to get that out of the material before we finish the wheel.
How long are they staying in each individual tank?
15 minutes.
So 15 minutes in each individual tank,
Yes.
down and up into the next tank.
Yes.
And then when they're done, where are they going to go to dry?
They go through a separate process, staging process, before we finish the wheel.
And then when they're done cleaning, prepping, drying, they're going to get sent out to be either powder coated, painted, whatever the end result's going to be.
Yes.
And in my case, we're going to end up with a gloss black powder coat, which aren't going to stay black for very long.
Right.
So let's go check out some of those finished wheels.
Sure will.
So right here we have a set of finished complete wheels, correct?
Yes. This is the VPS 302.
Okay, so mine is the 308. This is a bit of a different style, but this is ready to go on a car.
Yes, this has already been powder coated. It has a matte black finish.
Wow. That is just beautiful. Everything is so crisp, so smooth and symmetrical.
You can actually see on the back side, you can actually see the engraving that yours will have.
Wow, it's all the way nice and crisp. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to sit with Mike, and we're going to look at some different color samples because, as you know, with paint, dip, powder coating, there's hundreds of different colors. We got to find the right color to go on that Atlantic color shift that we have on the 458. Thank you, Al, so much.
Thank you for stopping by, Fonzie.
It's been a pleasure, and you guys do great work.
Thank you.
All right, Mike. Now we've got the Atlantic color shift on the car now. We've got some greens and some blues working together. The question really is, what's the right color for the wheels? Now I've got a couple selections here that I brought from DYC headquarters for you to take a look at. We've got pure gold, we've got some coppers, and then we've got some more metallics like silvers and anthracite. Do you have any feedback? What are you thinking?
I talked to a lot of the guys at Vossen, and with the whole concept of your car and the Ferrari with the Atlantic paint, I think the copper is what everybody's really loving. It's definitely going to stand out and be something just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, now my thoughts were, I didn't want to go too conservative, so the silvers and the grays were out. The gold is a little too blingy for what I was looking at. My heart was really set on the burnt copper as well. When you put it up against the greens and the blues in the Atlantic, I think it complements perfectly. Here's what we're going to do from now. You're going to finish up the wheels. I think we got another 2 weeks left or so. Your Vossen team is going to come down to the DYC headquarters, and we're actually going to dip those brand new Vossen wheels. They're going to start off in the gloss black. They're going to be burnt copper by the time they get onto the car.
It's super exciting. We actually have one of the Vossen wheels here. We can put it next to your car to give you a little hint of what's to come.
Yeah, let's take a look.
And with the Vossen Precision Series VPS 308 wheels you chose, as you can see, you get a little hint of what's to come on your beautiful Ferrari.
Now I'm so excited to get these wheels on the car. It's going to change the whole personality and look of the car, and with the burnt copper complementing and contrasting off these blues and greens of the Atlantic, I think it's going to look like nothing's ever looked before.
Absolutely.
Man,
can't wait to see it.
So about 2 weeks, I'll see your team down at Vossen at DYC headquarters, and we'll finish this thing up.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Mike.